Hi, everybody. Hope today finds you good. I got a little bit of time before I got to feed my animal critters and make them happy. Got my plant room all shut down for the night, and all the plants are looking good. As I'm really surprised I've been able to do so well growing in the house. Um, I usually try to grow all my gardens outside, but I wanted a year-round garden. And, I told my husband to do that. We got to put up a greenhouse. We got to cut down trees and make spaces for all this. Well, it's just him and I. So it makes sense. So he turned one of the bedrooms of the house into a gardening room. And it works really good, actually. Uh, this year I've been able to have a steady supply of strawberries. Zucchini is coming in now. I've actually got a little cantaloupe growing. My tomatoes are starting to put out the pretty little tomatoes. And of course, my sweet basil and parsley are doing excellent. Um, and catnip. I grow my own catnip, some for my cat. And I'm going to start selling some of my herbs that I grow because, you know, you're paying about $3 for a little plastic, pretty much generic thing, right? For your herbs. And those have been sitting in that jar for goodness knows how long before they get to you. So most of the flavor is gone. These are homegrown, no chemicals. I don't allow it, not Miracle-Gro or any of that. I add a little sugar water, or I will add banana water to give them some help when they need it. And to fight the mites, I use neem oil, which is all natural. And so I'm kind of all about, I don't care about organic. I just want it natural. You just put organic on it so you can charge me more. So when I see organic label, I kind of ignore it and just go buy what I need. Uh, so I got the plants all taken care of, and one of my kitties is eating happily. My dog Lady is usually right here on the front porch waiting for dinner, but I don't see her. At this hour, it's kind of, late for her. Feeding, I usually have them fed before 6. About 5 o'clock, I start getting them fed, and then I feed my plants for the night, and then shut down the room about 6 o'clock. And everything's flowering and doing beautiful. Yes, I have to do my own pollinating. No, it's not hard, it's easy. But I have to tell you, the stuff I couldn't find in the grocery store or couldn't afford to buy from the grocery store, I got right here growing. And I know the government's trying to say now that our small little gardens we're contributing too much to the atmosphere. And they're so full of crap. Whoever let the idiots, oh wait, that was us. Sorry, Americans. And yeah, I'm one. I didn't fight against all this. Even when I was young, I was too focused on survival, like most people. And then when you realize you survived it all, like me, I'm 60, um, and there's no real benefits to what all you did, all the work you put in, all the taxes you paid, all the struggles you went through to appease a government that they don't care about you. They don't. They scream we're a drain on the economy. So you're going to bring in more people. That makes sense. there's still going to be civilians, and they're still going to work, and it's still going to be a drain on the economy, except they're going for the government stuff. Because in Mexico, they don't have benefits like we do, I don't think. I'm really not sure anymore. Mexico has really come a long way, as far as I know. And everybody says, well, they're trying to escape the cartels. Well, coming to America is the wrong thing to do. Haven't you ever watched any programming from America? We have the biggest cartels, and our government's one of them. Our government believes in social terrorism, attacking civilians with our military. And you can't tell me oh no, they don't. I lived through it, people. 60s and 70s was a very violent time, and it was often our military attacking civilians who were protesting, not because they didn't want to wear a bra, but because the Bible, the religion, didn't belong in our government, and it was so deeply embedded in it that we're living like Russians with censorship, or the Soviet Union, I should say. Russia, from what I understand, they're one of the more free countries. America used to be in the top at least 5, and now I think we're in the teens somewhere as far as freedoms of civilian population goes. Immigration, a problem for you? Now, I lived in Texas for 30 years, and I did see some of the problems. But I also saw the government also turn a blind eye to the problems that we were seeing. We lived in this one landlord's house, and he rented out occasionally to illegals. I really don't have a problem with it as long as they are decent people. Don't come in here threatening me or mine. Don't threaten to break in my house. You know, those just common courtesies of living closer to people. And a few times he brought in some bad ones. And I had to make it clear, you either get them out of here or I will. And he said, what's the problem? And I said, well, there's a pickup full of women and children. And it's a little S10 with a camper on the back of it. That it's just so stuffed full of people, women and children. And they weren't coming there to work and live. They were in my neighborhood temporarily. They had been sold by the Mexicans that were bringing them through. Sold, women and children. Mexican women and children being sold. How does that make every Mexican American feel? I know how it makes me feel. It's the damnedest thing that we do as humans, to enslave each other. I don't care what a good citizen you are, or what good person you think you are. Humans are still trafficking humans. And this is unacceptable. I don't care in what country you live. Now, when America was founded, that was not part of it. But this white man who grew up with a black man as a friend, like I did. I grew up with blacks, Puerto Ricans mostly in Chicago. When I got out was when I got around the hillbillies, and boy, were they just awful. Yeah. But it is what it is, so they say today. Don't bark at me about immigration. I watched Trump's people pull down 7 miles of border wall to put up less than a mile. Where'd all those materials go from when they tore down? I don't know if y'all remember it. I do. I know they tried to squash the story pretty quick. And I understand why. But if you're listening to his propaganda, I will secure our borders. No, he will not. He had 4 years to do it and couldn't get 3 bricks in the ground. Actually, got more than that, but not much. And I'm just waiting to see if you're going to put him back in office and try again to incite violence. I remember watching the military escort him out of the White House because he was determined. He wanted to be a dictator. He even said it on public media, people. And you really want to put him back in office. Anybody who claims to be a Trumpy should be ashamed of themselves. The cheaper gas you got was not worth it. Your groceries went up. I buy those groceries too. They didn't go down. Rent didn't go down. Power companies didn't lower their rates either. So none of his stuff came true. But he sure managed to incite violence. Plenty of it. Between what was happening all over Texas. Christians. You know he's not Christian. He's an atheist. I know, I saw him preaching. I couldn't believe that. I actually saw him talking about how God is this and that. And I was like, this is the same man who was carrying a Bible with the cross upside down. Saying God chose him. He don't know nothing about God, but he sure does know about you. I'll tell you what. If I start claiming to be a Christian, will y'all start sending me money? I claim to be a Christian. I don't have to believe it. I just got to claim it. Will you send me millions of dollars so I can travel all over the United States telling people what a good Christian I am and what a wonderful president I would make? I mean, if that's all I got to do to get you to vote for me, I might run. Oh, that'd be scary. Texas, Arkansas granny running for president. I mean, really? Come on, people, really. Don't put this man in office. I'm begging you. You know why? I like my fellow man. And when he was in office, it was the only time I was ever afraid of them. And I lived in the ghetto. So, if I felt safer in the ghetto than I did going into Walmart or walking with my friend who's a nurse in her uniform in any place, she got attacked twice. During the pandemic, I saw a small sample of the worst of my country. During Trump's reign, I saw more violence and destructive behavior than I'd seen in 40, 50 years of my life of 60 years. And all because they found someone they could latch onto, and he would throw money at them to come at you. He got caught. Come on, people. That's like saying Michael Jackson was good with kids. Are you freaking joking? And I still see his crap. It should be outlawed. Just because. How you guys worship and idolize a freaking pedophile that went to another country and even got kicked out of that country for trying to molest children. What is wrong with you? And you idolize him like he is a god. In later times, when they're looking back at history and they're trying to figure out our crap, they're going to go, oh my God, they thought this was a god. They thought this person was a god, and so did he. Yeah, so godlike he overdosed. Everybody says it was his doctor's fault. I think it was his. I think he knew after going through everything that outed him for who he really was, the monster he really was. And you tried to make the victims of his victims, you tried to make them the bad guys because they wanted restitution for their children being so messed up from what he did to them. People, I pray a lot for my country. Now, just because I don't believe in Christianity doesn't mean I don't believe in God. I believe God is right here. Always right there. I am with God all the time. God guides me in my path, just like all of us. Now we can try to change our path, and God will resist, but he will let us eventually, so we can learn our lessons. Now, that sounds an awful lot like parenting. I had to let my children go and become adults. That was hard for me. I wanted to protect them. I'd had a tough childhood with very little protection. So I was a little overprotective of my kids. And because I had unresolved issues from childhood, I had anger issues that I never got reconciled with. And still, every now and then, they pop up their ugly little heads. But for the most part, that kind of anger's gone. I mean, the people who caused it are gone too. So I had to let it go, or just, live an awful, miserable life. And I don't think I deserve that. I think I deserve a good life. I think I've worked very hard. I've been a good wife, a loyal wife. I did my best as a mother. I can't say that I did good, but I did do my best. And now seeing my children as adults, I know that my best may not have been good enough, but it was good enough to get them that far. And they're figuring out the rest of it on their own, like most of us do. So, okay, I'm almost 20 minutes in. I know that I can clog up my phone making these little videos to talk to y'all. But, I made a video, a live stream, that was almost an hour long, and now I can't find it. So it was like, okay. Well, I'll talk to y'all later, because I do have to feed my animals and tend to a few things here in the house, like food for myself. I haven't ate much today. It's a good thing, not a bad thing. because I have 8. So it's not like I'm going without. But, y'all, just really think more about this thing with the presidency. Please, I'm begging you. I'm your fellow man. I'm your fellow American. So please, don't just think of what you want. Think of actually what is best for the country. And there is a way to reject both candidates. We refuse even the preliminary polls to vote for them. No votes means they have to come up with new candidates, which means, yeah, sadly, Biden might stay in the office longer. However, I had a dream about him. And yeah, the puppet strings are pulling too tight. And he's too old. So now when they pull tight, they break bones. It was a dream. I'm never going to threaten anybody. I'm not that kind of person. I will stand up and defend myself, but I will never attack someone. So, let me tell you something. Think long and hard about the choices you're making. Biden can be controlled. And it's going to take y'all at the polls saying, look, we've had enough. And unless you can come up with somebody who is not already a billionaire or already a millionaire or the major owner of some corporation, they don't belong in our government at all. All of these, it used to be illegal. And they say, well, we're taking very little pay for what we do. Oh, no, you're not. And most of your pay, we don't ever get to see. Most of your pay is done under the table through illegal investments and thievery, just outright thievery. The American federal tax, to me, is just theft. Our government can't sustain itself. So, yeah, when the economy goes, so does society. So if you like your comfortable living and you think Trump's going to give that to you, you are so mistaken. He's going to run this country like Putin runs Russia. And there's no doubt in my mind about it. That man is an American traitor. He should never be even allowed near a government institution. And I don't like our government, but I definitely don't want him in it. So people, please, I'm asking you, think seriously about who our next president is. I know to you guys, well, it's a chump job for 4 years. No, it's a chump job for 8 years if they can pull it off. And not a one of them has left poor, have they? But how much have you gained? Nothing. You've lost. What can you say?